Fellas, I hope you're smiling. You got a lot to smile about. This is a self-organizing journey. Every day it's like more and more of the puzzle pieces are falling into place. All these things that I've chased so aggressively over the last 10 years, 15 years, things that I've chased, they're just coming to me. They're just coming to me, almost without me having to do anything about it. I just follow the path. I just follow the inspiration. I follow the moment. The moment shows you exactly what is needed. See, when you're depleted, when you're releasing, when you're an NPC, when you're shooting your soul all over the ground, you're not inspired and you're not really present to all of the micro cues of the moment. The universe is lavishing you on a continuous basis with little cues. It's like a woman. She's always giving you these little subtle cues about how she feels, about what she wants, about when she's attracted to you, about when she's pissed off at you, showing you when you're being an idiot or when you're right on point. But without your focus, without your full energy, you can't be present to that. And you miss all of these little moments. They just pass you by. They just float past you without you noticing because you're in this zombie state. There's so much magic happening constantly, all around you. I'm finding that more and more when I'm working, doing my carpentry work, doing my building work, I'm having fun with my clients. I'm actually laughing so much through the day now because I feel good. And this isn't going to be a constant thing for you, especially when you're starting out, but it's going to be a constant rise with a lot of these downs, but then up again, and then down deeper, and then up higher again. And you're going to be on this constant, gradual rising of consciousness, of feeling, of vibration. I'm finding that I'm having fun with what I'm doing. I'm present without trying to be present like I used to be. I used to try and be mindful all the time, like paying attention to all of my movements and my speech and being mindful, being obsessively mindful. I was so mindful I became neurotically mindful. But now I'm actually in the moment. I'm actually having fun. I'm enjoying the day by day, the step by step, just the moment. And paradoxically, that's making me more effective at what I do. I'm in a higher vibration, I'm doing better work, I'm more productive, but it feels like it's easier. And not only that, I'm forming better relationships with my clients, with the people I work with. People are vibing with this higher energy and they're giving me more opportunities. This is the crazy thing. This is what happens. This is how it works. Now, I'm not here to say that it's all sunshine and rainbows, because it ain't. But I am wanting to share that it's getting better and better. So I know you come and watch these videos because they inspire you. You're looking for more of this information because you want to know that there's a light at the end of the tunnel, because a lot of this journey feels like a fucking dark tunnel. But there is, and it gets better and better. It gets better and better, and you have to try less and less. It's like a couple of these guys I hear talking about everything being rigged in your favor. It's actually true. It's real. It's the craziest thing, man. Like, who would have known that the universe, God, whatever created this matrix we're in, you, the real you, the true you, your deepest essence, your core being, set this whole thing up that by letting go of lust, your deepest drive, your strongest survival impulse, by letting that go, you would become the master of this domain. That's just what it looks like to me. Like that's what this whole thing is starting to look like to me. You were placed in this game. You were given an Achilles heel, which was lust. You were given a fundamental flaw or weakness, which has the ability to fully take you out, to fully kill you on a spiritual level, not just a physical. You are seeded with this fundamental weakness, susceptibility to lust. And it's the thing that your lower man, your ego man, your fleshly man, your lower nature, it's the thing that your lower nature wants the most. But if you can consciously choose to let that go, you become the master of this domain. It's fucking crazy. Like, who thought of this? Who dreamed up this concept, this idea? It's bizarre. And all the things you try and get surrounding this core desire called lust, all the ancillary desires, money, power, respect, control, fame, admiration, the ability to influence others, leadership, prestige, status, all of these ancillary desires all lead back to that one core desire, lust. And these are the things we stay occupied with as men our entire lives. We stay occupied with these things. We pursue them to the detriment of our health. We pursue them to the destruction of our families. We chase these things to the point where we lose all satisfaction with life. But if we simply just come back to the center and realize it's all about the lust, that's why we're doing all of these things, then we just let the lust go. We let the lust go, and then as a flow-on effect of letting go of that negative, dense baggage, that heavy karmic weight, which keeps us earthbound, which keeps us stuck in this material paradigm, we let that go and we start to rise automatically. We start to rise in power, vibration, and with that rise in vibration comes all of these ancillary desires that we were chasing directly. They start to chase us indirectly. Power, prestige, influence, control, money, fame, the woman of our dreams, family, all of it, opportunities, adventures, it all pursues us. It's a complete polarity flip. It's a complete switch. And I'm starting to see it so much more clearly now, and I'm starting to realize how stuck and how blinded I was for all these years, just plodding along as an NPC, trying to force myself onto the world, trying to force my way into making money, trying to force myself into influence, you know, trying to build a YouTube channel, trying to grow my presence online, trying to do all this stuff. And the whole time I could have just gone to the root of the problem, which was the lust in my heart. I could have just seen that for what it was, which was a vampiric energy which keeps me earthbound. And I could have surrendered that. I am surrendering that now, and I'm just realizing that billions of us, billions of men right now in this world are stuck in this rat trap. And you know, no one needs saving, because at our core, we are all divine. We are all divine sparks. So we know this deep down. It's kind of like what Alan Watts talks about. Deep down, way, way, way back in the back of your mind, you already know who you are. But you also know that games are no fun without surprises. So there have to be some elements hidden from you. There has to be a certain level of forgetfulness that you take on to play this game. Otherwise, it's not a game. Otherwise, it's not an adventure. Otherwise, there is no suspense in the movie. There's no tension. With no tension, there's no relief when the tension breaks. When you reach the crossover point where you realize, oh, it's all me. You have to have this arc, this build up, so that when you finally realize that and that tension breaks, you go into free fall. Without that build up, there is no free fall. There is no aha. There is no climax. You see, as long as we are climaxing and releasing on the physical level, we are killing all of the tension, all of the build up, all of the energy which it takes to get us to this point where we're ready to realize on the mental, on the spiritual plane, who we are. That's the whole point of this journey. Yes, you'll get all the benefits of all those ancillary things that I mentioned. They come along with you for the ride. Seek first the kingdom of heaven, and all of these things will be added to you. They'll be given to you. This is what's going on. You know all this, I'm just reminding you. I've said this many times already, but it's just getting clearer and clearer. The diamond is just getting more and more polished. More and more facets are appearing on the diamond. What else do you want me to say? It's getting better and better. It gets shit, and then it gets much better, and then it gets really shit, and then it gets way, way better. If you've reached this point where you've been watching my videos for a while, I want you to realize there's no reason to release anymore at all. There's literally no reason. If you know what you know now from having watched these videos and other videos, if you've woken up to this point now where you're actually comprehending what I'm talking about right now, there's no more reason to release. There's absolutely zero reason. Even to have a child. Fellas, I want you to know that you don't need to release to have a child. If you want to dive deep into this, look at the works of Samael Aun Weor. He is the prophet, the modern day prophet of the Gnostic faith. one of the most profound spiritual traditions in history, as far as I can tell. There's a lot of very profound spiritual traditions. Gnosticism, from what I've observed, studied, is a very profound and beautiful synthesis of all of these ancient religions, all of these ancient spiritual traditions tied into a cohesive whole. And Samael Aun-Weor was a guy who wrote a whole bunch of books, was a very spiritually tapped in guy. And he talks about how Jesus, for example, was born of immaculate conception. That doesn't mean that God fucked Mary. That's not what it's talking about. It doesn't mean that Mary was just spontaneously fertilized by an angel or by some kind of magic. What he says in these books is that immaculate conception is where you make love with your wife, you join in the sexual act, and instead of having an ejaculation, a single sperm comes out at the perfect moment when it's meant to be. This is an act of God. This is what it means, an act of God, immaculate conception. A single sperm comes out exactly when it's meant to, at the perfect time, when a child is meant to be born, divinely ordained. One sperm, that's all it takes. It doesn't take billions. You do not need to expel billions of sperm at a time, ever. Let's just lay that to rest. You don't need to release ever again. You can conserve all of that fuel, all of that power for your own spiritual ascension. You can redirect that up the superhighway, up the sushumna, up into your brain so that you can achieve enlightenment. Do you know that everyone who tried to teach this in times past, up until Samael Aun-Weor, this is his words, so you can verify this, you can do your own research, but this is what he said. Everyone who tried to teach this openly was executed or killed or assassinated, up until the 20th century when this guy started saying it openly. He started telling the secret openly. There have been many prophets who've told us the secret openly, which is that we are divine. We are all aspects of one God. Many people have said that, but very few have said openly and lived that the way to realize this, the direct path, is through sexual transmutation, sexual alchemy. Alchemy is a tradition which has been taught, studied, obsessed over by secret societies, by all of the top echelons of all of the most advanced societies, Europe, China, Asia, Egypt, South America, all of these ancient cultures, which harken back to the time of Atlantis, have studied and taught alchemy underground secretly. And we know about this today. But what we weren't told about alchemy is it's not to do with turning base metals into gold. That's the cover story. The Rosicrucians, the Freemasons, the Illuminati, all of these left and right-hand paths, left, the hidden, the shadow, the dark, right, the righteous, the holy, the light-filled. These left and right-hand paths have all studied alchemy, the secrets of transmutation, for thousands of years, hearkening back to the times of the Babylonians, the Mayans, the Aztecs, the Egyptians. They've all been studying the same thing, guys. This is what I'm talking about. It all comes full circle. You think semen retention is just this gimmick, this modern fad that's going to be here today, gone tomorrow. No, guys, this has been around for thousands of years. And we are now just being exposed in the mainstream to this idea because our time is now. There's a culmination happening right now, and you're part of it. If you're doing this practice earnestly, if you're doing this practice for more than just to get laid, you are joining a zeitgeist, a current, which is currently peaking. It's reaching its full power now, and it's spilling over into the mainstream airwaves. Sexual transmutation is the path to enlightenment. All you have to do is retain the energy. Let go of lust in all of its forms, however it shows itself to you. From the overt craving to see naked female bodies, to the very subtle wanting attention, wanting approval, wanting to be seen by women, wanting to have power and influence over others. These are all expressions of lust in their varied forms. And you just got to come back to the root of that, be present enough, be aware enough, watch yourself, become observant of these thoughts of your heart as they come out through the day, whatever you're doing. And just start to let it go. Just start to detach and observe it and realize that's not you. Just observe it more and more and more, and you get more and more space from it, and you realize, oh, I'm acting like a bot. I'm acting like a slave right now to an impulse which is actually trying to drag me down into hell. That's the goal of lust. It's to pull you downwards. It's the downward current of the Kundalini, leading to black magic and death and the seeking of more and more power over the external, rather than the upward current of Kundalini, which reveals more and more your intrinsic power, which already exists over the external, as you realize that the external is your own creation and your own projection. That's all we got to do, guys. Just let go of the lust. Keep letting go of the lust in every form. Pretty soon, your life is going to self-organize. You're going to be pulled magnetically onto the path of your purpose, which is really just to realize that you're God. That's all your purpose is. It's to realize that you are God. You are the Son of God. And that everyone around you is also the same. And it's to help them remember that. And you think that that's going to take us to hell? You think that's going to create problems? If everyone starts realizing that we're all part of the same God, that we're all expressions of the same God? No. That's what you've been conditioned to believe. That's what the black magicians have been pushing for thousands of years to try and keep you suppressed. And they've seeded you deep enough so that you defend your right to see yourself as a victim, to see yourself at the effect of an external God. And you'll fight to the death to protect that, if that's what you choose, if you choose to keep going along this path of denial. And guys, I just want to back up. I'm not here to preach. I just wanted to share my perspective. All right, so, but if that resonates, you know why. Anyway, keep letting go. You will attract the path. You will attract the right opportunities automatically. You will just start being happy with life, no matter what's going on. But things will tend to get better and better. Then you'll attract your feminine counterpart, your energetic, equal, opposite polarity. You guys will get together. You'll start practicing white tantra, sex magic, sex without releasing, drawing you closer and closer, allowing you to see more and more of the complementary opposite of the feminine, and merging your soul into a unified whole with her, realizing that two are actually one. And the idea that I'm different from you, separate from you, just because you're out there and I'm here, that collapses. You realize that you and your wife aren't two people, you're actually one flesh, you're one spirit, and you'll ascend at an accelerated rate. It's pretty out there, but that's what's going on. So I love you guys. Don't give this up for anything. Not even to make a baby. You don't need to. You don't need to release ever again. I love you guys.